You're asking some good questions. I've never told any of these stories. This is great. Yeah, you had me quoting Kanye for a while there. I have a mug at home that somebody sent me. It says on the mug is, I believe in myself like Kanye believes in Kanye.
I'm standing up and I'm telling you, I am Warhol.
The level of belief, is like, that's something
unwavering.
That's something that you can take.
I am the #1 most impactful artist of our generation. I am Shakespeare in the flesh.
Sway's asking about why he doesn't invest in himself and build his own clothing line. And Kanye goes off. He's like, you ain't got the answers.
You ain't got the answers.
If I didn't like something that you would say, I wouldn't send up and say, you ain't got the answers, Angelique.
You ain't got the answers.
I don't, that doesn't resonate with me. But the whole thing that led up to it before was he's believing in himself and goes on this rant where he's like, I may not get the words word for word. This is maybe a 10-year-old interview, but he goes, I'm standing up and I'm saying I am Warhol.
I am Shakespeare
in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google. Now who's gonna be the Medici family and stand up and let me create more? Or do you wanna marginalize me until I'm out of my moment? But like, here's a guy who's saying that he is Shakespeare, that he is Warhol, right? It's like, and whether he's delusional or not, but he believes that. And why he's so upset at Sway is Sway's trying to give him some advice.
Or why don't you empower yourself and don't need them and do it yourself?
How, Sway?
And he's like, doesn't see himself as being in the same world.
You ain't spent $13 million of your own money trying to empower yourself.
Yep, but I spent hundreds of thousands and putting out clothing lines at a smaller degree. All I'm asking you...
And it ain't no Ralph, though. It ain't Ralph level.
Let me ask you this. I'm asking
What's the name of your clothing line? We don't know.
Like, I'm so far ahead. I'm thinking so much bigger. This thing that you're saying is not the answer. And so he just rages out because he's in a completely different stratosphere.
Take a few steps back to go...
You ain't got the answers, man.
Like, the reaction I don't like, but the thinking that went into it is interesting. Like, I would never say I am Shakespeare or I am Warhol. Or what else did he say? I am the greatest of...
I am the #1 most impactful artist of our
generation, right? I would never say that. I wouldn't say that because I don't believe it. And I don't even believe that it's possible for me to be the greatest artist, the greatest anything of our generation, right? I don't have that level of belief in myself to go up and do that. And so I look at that and that's what I pull from. Is like, I want to have more belief like he does. I don't know how I ended up on that story, but it got me really excited about Kanye West. And what was your question again? I lost my own train of thought.
Yeah, it was like, why do you think that so many people are afraid to aim for more than just enough or enough to survive?
Okay, so the first is the belief that it's possible, right? And that's how I landed on Kanye and Elon, because there's people who's like, I believe that this thing is possible that's never been done before. And that problem I have no idea how to solve, because there's so few people who are off doing this thing, to be the first ever to do something. And that's why Kanye got so pissed off, because he couldn't figure out the blueprint. There was no blueprint. Ain't nobody ever wrote down the rules, right? And so he's like trying to figure out the rules as he's going.
Now who's gonna be the Medici family and stand up and let me create more?
But that belief isn't even a level that everybody needs. The one before that is just a belief that it's possible for you. And so most of the things that people, their ambitions, their dreams, their goals, I'm sure as you're seeing, the things that they want to do, they know it's possible for somebody else, but they don't believe it's possible for them.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's not possible for any human.
Yeah.
It's just not possible for me. So like, okay, that person can do it, but, and then whatever reason, but they were born here, or they had this education, or they had this parental background, or they had whatever. There's some reason why that person can be successful, but you can't. And so the belief that it's possible for somebody else, but not for me. This is the bigger trap for most people. It's like, somebody else can do it, but they're greedy or they're blank, and I don't have the resources, so I'm stuck here. And so what I love to do is try to figure out, okay, well, who's gone off and accomplished it? And if it's possible for somebody else, then it's possible for me. And look at how they got started. Because chances are your hero started off with less than what you already have right now. And you look at somebody like Oprah. And Oprah, gets slammed sometimes in the media for different things, but arguably the most successful female entrepreneur of all time. And if you look at how she started and where she came from the rape and the family issues and being raised by her grandmother and she was so poor that her grandmother would buy bags of potatoes and then sew the potato bag into a dress, and that's what she would wear to school. She couldn't afford clothing, so her grandmother would sew potato bags, and that, like, could you imagine going to school in a potato bag that your grandmother sewed for you? It's like, that's where she came from.
Yeah.
And if she can come from that to where she's at now, like, what is your reason why you can't go off and do your significantly smaller dream?
Yeah, and it's easy to say that, but when somebody says, like, I've seen you do it, I've seen Evan do it, and I want that. Like, I would want to have Evan's level of success. I totally want that. And I believe it's possible because I saw Evan do it.
Yeah.
But deep down, saying that you want something and believing that it's possible for you, there's like a bridge that has to be built there. And what do you think is, what is the difference between truly believing something is possible for you and just wanting it? Because we're at the beginning of the year, right? People just did their goals, their vision boards, like, let's go, new year, new me.
Yeah.
But a lot of people put down what they want, and they're trying to build the bridge to believe that it's possible for them.
I think the first step is understanding that it's not. What are the things that help get me inspired? What are the things that help get me feeling more belief? And maybe it's watching this show, right? Okay, how many self-directed episodes do we have? Go back and watch some of the other ones. Click the link there. I'll see you there.
Ready?